like today when I had to sign the release form, I felt so bad because I couldn't sign it myself. I had to go and get my mother's and all that. But 18 is, it's just society's way of saying that you're ready. When you get out there, the responsibility is staggering. And I'm ready. I'm going to be a little more ready than someone who's grown up in Disney World, with Santa Claus is coming. My mother had a really bad childhood, and my father had a bad childhood, and I had a bad childhood, but I love my childhood. Even though it was bad, I love it.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. This gotta be a joke. DJ Hamp Stampede, we in the building, man. That opening clip you saw was Pac at 17 years old. I saw this initially, and we're gonna look at it together. A very short clip that seemingly went viral about Candace Owens' assessment about this interview. So we're going to grab her assessment, watch it to see what she comes up with. I have my own thoughts pertaining to the mannerisms, what they say, what you see in the video. And then we're going to watch the interview. The interview was like 32 minutes, but there's a condensed down version. It's about 8 minutes. So we're going to assess how Pac moving around. And then we're going to look at some videos. One is in 1996, one is in 1992, right? The man was only 26 years old when he, lost his life. But let's see the maturation process of the mannerisms. Maybe we can explain it differently than just them trying to call the man gay and shit like that. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.
I stand by my statement that gangster rap was intentionally encouraged, and then they found some people that were just straight up actors to play this role of a gangster. And one of those people is obviously Tupac. So let's just watch this footage. You may forget this. Tupac was an actor, and I'm pretty sure he was not a heterosexual actor either on the basis of this clip. Take a listen.
I'm most like my mom because I'm arrogant, totally arrogant. I agree. I have to say it. Like at work, I can't hold a job. I just quit my job today, actually, because I wanted to come and do this. And they wouldn't let me. And I felt like it was important, and it was more important than serving pizza. And we had enough people, so I felt like since I'm an actor, they should understand. They should have let me do it, but they didn't. And then I had a cold, so they were making me work in a freezer. And I'm really not one to be disrespected, and I felt like that was disrespectful because I asked to go, So I quit, and he told me I couldn't quit, and that even made me hyper. I'm arrogant, so when he told me I couldn't quit and we had all these customers, I chose that time to jump on a soapbox, grab my leather jacket, light a cigarette in front of him, smoke, and leave in the middle of a rush. So that was natural high. That's arrogance at the top. That's I think I'm most like my mother, and she likes it. She'll see it in me and know it. And we clash a lot because I'm arrogant, she's arrogant, and you should see us when we get in our little attitude moves.
I'm just saying it's a lot of hand movement for an eventual thug life gangster, okay?
Mannerisms, man. We actually just had a live stream on that. Mannerisms. How do they manifest? Where do they come from? Are they nature or nurture? What we often see is people adopt mannerisms from the people around them. One thing, and we'll watch the clip, more of the video itself, the actual interview, about 8 minutes of it worth, and assess said mannerisms. Initially, the association is that how he's moving around in the clip that Candace showed is homosexual adjacent or esque, right? So that's a conclusion that's trying to be drawn here. What I've seen from coaching high school football, and you have a bunch of kids. The school I coached at was 4,000 kids, 99% black. There was a sect of the kids that came from, single mother-led house homes, right? And so what you will see is they adopt the mannerisms of the people around them. And so I could ask some of the young boys, hey, you live with your dad around you, you grow up with him, You have one, to be frank. And oftentimes when he's not present consistently, or they don't grow up with him at all, and then the majority of their influences are women, you'll see them adopt those mannerisms. But those little boys, well, you know, they high school age boys weren't homosexual, right? That's not what that was, right? It's simply the movements that they mimic based on the people that they're often around, right? So to put that jacket on somebody is irresponsible, you know? And so I'm not going to do that to Pac. I think that's unfair. But we see that quite often. But, you know, it's provocative, right? It's incendiary to allege that against Pac based on the video. Feel me? And we know he was a trained actor and things of that nature. We're going to look at a couple different videos to see how his mannerisms changed or matured as he got older as well. Once he became an actual adult and got out on his own, like he mentions in the video. But that allegation is strong as hell, Candace. You gotta chill. You gotta chill. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Let's take a look at the full video to see what we see, regardless of what Candace saw herself. All right, so here goes the actual interview. Like I said, it's 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Let's check out how Pac moving around in this video. Again, he's 17 here. He is a trained actor. He's in acting school. He mentions it. He talks a little bit about childhood and how it manifested for him and his parents. One thing you'll notice that he references his mom a lot more often than his father. That's a tell to how he moving around, right? The allegation of his orientation, I can't subscribe to that, but let's take a look.
Your age and where you go to school.
Are you rolling, Andy?
Okay.
Anytime.
Okay, my name is Tupac Shakur, and I attend Tampapai High School, and I'm 17 years old.
Okay. Do you like being 17?
And it's like 17 is such a weird age. It's such a in the middle age. You're not 18 yet, and you're older than 16. So, but I like it. It's nice. It's like a learning stage for me.
Do you wish you could be 18 and when you get some more rights?
Well, 18 will bring lots of responsibilities that I don't want, but it'll bring respect that I feel like that's the only way I can get it. You know, I try to be as mature as I can be and demand it wherever I can get it. But 18 is like, you're an adult. You like today when I had to sign the release form, I felt so bad because I couldn't sign it myself. I had to go and get my mother's and all that. But 18 is, it's just society's way of saying that you're ready. When you get out there, the responsibility is staggering. And I'm ready. I'm going to be a little more ready than someone who's grown up in Disney World, you know, with Santa Claus is coming.
So don't get me wrong, right? I'm not being obtuse. I can see it, right? Him rubbing his finger on his face like that, he wilding, right? I think people are also alleging this just because of how well spoken he is, right? Now he is speaking in a lighter tone. You know, he's using a lot of diction, right? You know, pronunciating them words extremely. His diction is awesome. Pause. But again, to say he that, I think is much more so what I had mentioned previous to us watching this. Put it in the comments down below.
Childhood, and my father had a bad childhood, and I had a bad childhood, but I love my childhood. Even though it was bad, I love it. I feel like it's taught me so much, and I feel like nothing can faze me. You know, nothing in this world, nothing can surprise me. It might set me back, but only momentarily, only to spring back. But don't get the wrong idea. I feel like I'm being gloomy. I don't mean just be like, damn it, it's bad out there. But I mean, when the good things come, and they are going to come, and everybody knows that good things are going to come, and you're going to see them for yourself. You're going to see that they're good. But it's harder to see the bad things, and everybody wants to shield the bad things, and that's where it gets complicated and it gets real rotten.
What do you think's the hardest thing about being, being your age?
The hardest thing about being my age is,
damn, Pac real lispy with it, man. He real lispy, like it's annoying. Let's keep going, man.
not everybody, but frequently teenagers are stereotyped in being loud music loving, girl chasing, car wanting, not caring about the world. cokeheads, drinking coke and smoking and being drug addicts, and I mean, in some ways we are. I mean, I chase girls and want the car and loud music, but I'm secret with the world.
There you go, right there. And now, in this video, I don't see a kid who is naive, right? Do you hear how well he's articulating what he wants to say? He's giving references to why his behavior is as such. You saw in the opening clip, his mom's stubborn, he's stubborn, pardon me, arrogant, right? He's aware. He's not some dumb little 17-year-old, right? He chased girls. You heard him? He chases girls. Let me go back, because y'all tripping on
Is
me, man.
bad. Teenagers are stereotyped in being loud music loving, girl chasing, car wanting, not caring about the world, cokeheads, drinking coke and smoking and being drug addicts, and I mean, in some ways we are. I mean, I chase girls and want the car and loud music, but I'm secret, but the world is bad shape. So we have to do a lot. We have to do a lot of good things. So I think we deserve a little bit more respect. There should be a drug class. There should be sex education. There should be a class on scams. There should be a class on religious cults. There should be a class on police brutality. There should be a class on apartheid. There should be a class on racism in America. There should be a class on why people are hungry, but they're not. Their classes on gym, physical education. Let's learn volleyball. We're not being taught to deal with the world as it is. We're being taught to deal with this fairyland, which we're not even living in anymore. And it's sad, because I'm telling you, and it should not be me telling you. It should be common knowledge. Aren't they wondering why death rates are going up and suicide is going up and drug abuse? Aren't they wondering? Don't they understand that more people are, more kids are being handed crack than they're being handed diplomas? Okay, in school we're learning to analyze, and then, well, we need to learn from our mistakes and stop just going through emotions, which we're doing now. It's like we're waiting for some big button to be pushed or something like that. My mother taught me
He's cooking. It's not an average 17-year-old speaking, right? The things that he said probably go over most 17-year-olds' heads at this point in time, because like he said, drinking soda, they popping pills now, chasing the girls, they want the loud music, the cars, you know how it was, right? People had the speakers in their trunk rattling and all that. But he like, we so worried about going to gym, there's world hunger. And now when you see the majority of his mannerism, once he actually start getting into it, it's actually less feminine than that initial clip that we saw, right? Don't get me wrong. It is effeminate as hell, right? The clip that she showed, the one that I opened with. But overwhelmingly, he's super intelligent, super aware. And then he said, we chase girls, I chase girls. Talk to him, Pop.
things: respect, knowledge, search for knowledge. It's an eternal journey. That's like my haircut, the line, 360 degrees, find knowledge, always. And she taught me to not be quiet, to, if there's something in my mind, speak it. Like at work, I can't hold a job. I just quit my job today, actually, because I wanted to come and do this, and they wouldn't let me. And I felt like it was important, and it was more important than serving pizza, and we had enough people, so I felt like since I'm an actor, they should understand. They should have let me do it, but they didn't. And then I had a cold, so they were making me work in a freezer. And I'm really not one to be disrespected, and I felt like that was just...
I ain't gonna lie, the chest pat was crazy. The chest pat is crazy. Oh my God, the chest pat, I ain't even peep it till just now. The chest pat was crazy, Pop. God bless the dead.
I felt like since I'm an actor, they should...
The fingers is crazy, but this...
understand. They should have let me do it, but they didn't. And then I had a cold.
Damn, son. This hand is crazy. I ain't gonna hold you. But again, People learn these things through seeing. If you notice that his mindset is based on everything that his mother instilled, his father was not there, right? You know his songs. Even though you was a crack fiend, mama, you always been a black queen, mama. Damn, son. But the hand is wild. I ain't gonna hold you. The hand is crazy. But again, he pick it up from who he most likely around. 100%. And he said he chased girls. Let's not forget that.
So they were making me work in a freezer. And I'm really not one to be disrespected. And I felt like that was disrespectful because I asked to go, you know. So I quit. And he told me I couldn't quit. And that even made me hyper. And I'm arrogant. So when he told me I couldn't quit and we had all these customers, I chose that time to jump on the soapbox, grab my leather jacket, light a cigarette in front of him, smoke, and leave in the middle of a rush. So
that's why my pizza took so long.
You know those little things they have for the mice where they go through around a circle, that little block?
Did he laugh like that?
Middle of a rush. So
that's why my pizza took so long. That's why my pizza took so long. That's why my pizza took so long.
You know those little things they have for the mice where they go through around a circle, there's little blocks for it and everything? Well, society is like that. They'll let you go as far as you want. But as soon as you start asking too many questions and you're ready to change, boom, their block will come. And for me, and I hope this doesn't start anything, but for me, since I'm living in a slummish area and I'm black, mine will come through being a statistic. You know, I'll get caught up in all of this, and one day I'll be with my friends and they'll go, let's go out party. We don't have a car. Let's steal a car. Forget it. You know, let's just borrow a car. We'll steal a car and I'll go to jail for 16 years and come out and be bitter. Like the past elections, watching Jesse Jackson run and watching Dukakis run. Those two people, Jesse Jackson and Dukakis, two people who I thought were gonna, there it is. I said, all right, finally we're gonna get a better America. But what happened? Bush won. I couldn't believe it because every time I ask people, who would you have voted for? And they're like, those Dukakis. But how did Bush win? I keep wondering. And then this makes me rebel more against society because it's supposed to represent the people. I don't want Bush in government, and that's how society is built. The upper class run it while we talk about it. I mean the middle class and lower class, we talk about it. What we really want to do is get the pride back in the black community because I feel like if you can't respect yourself, then you can't respect your race, then you can't respect another's race, then you can't respect, you know, it just has to do with respect, like my mother taught me. So what we're doing is starting the Black Panthers again in Marin City, just getting, first teaching pride and then teaching education, and then we'll see where it goes from there. And also as a defense mechanism for the skinheads, because that's wrong, and I hate to feel helpless. And so skinheads hate black people, and I'm gonna be there. I have this vision of just us growing and them decreasing.
Is there anything you feel like you wanted to say that you didn't have a chance?
I don't know. I know as soon as I walk out, I'll go, oh God, I should have said that. But I mean, just growing up in America is
That's like you're in the right field, I think.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because it's very insightful, but it's also like we're getting a kick out of
I think it's gonna work. I think it'll work out and everything.
Great.
But I always wanted to make a book out of my life, like a fairy tale.
Well,
raised
fascinating enough.
raised by the Black Panthers and strung out. So,
Yeah, I think we stopped it.
Okay. Stop there, Danny.
Great.
He.
Damn. The hands is crazy. I ain't gonna hold you. It's a lot of flamboyant going on. Pac wilding with all the hand movement, 100%. But if you notice, that's what his mother taught him. And I know she was a Black Panther, so I would assume that there were a lot of men around. But you know how that go, right? Especially if she's leading her own group. I'm a legend is speculating that it was a bunch of women around, and he constantly refers to what his mom taught him, what his mom showed him, what his mom told him. So all of those mannerisms he picked up, but does not make him homosexual. You know, she mentioned gangster rap being manufactured. And you can say, right, Pac, we know he was an actor, but he definitely adopted the lifestyle and assimilated to it in terms of what the streets were. But then you have plenty of those brothers who are not at all a trained actor or come from something so swell, right? Even though he came from very, very humble beginnings, right? He had the opportunity to go to specific schools and do a specific thing. And he did it well. I mean, I think Pac was a decent actor for sure. You you know, but for every one that you have that wasn't outside in the streets, like maybe a Pac or Ice Cube, you got 4 or 5 in terms of gangster rap who are definitely outside, you know. Now, the agenda of it, right, depending on who owns what labels and what record companies and what distribution labels and etc., can definitely get a message out there more quickly and perpetuate the negative message in mass, you know. So what actually happened is the hood is actually very small. What I mean by that is the people actually outside doing things is a very small demographic. The 2019 FBI reports has always mentioned how black people, black men more specifically, overrepresent 32% of violent crime by black assailants, right? But the volume, the whole number, the real number was about 9,000 people. Let's say it's all men, 9,000 black men, right? So that'll be taken, and that jacket will then be put on all black men. And don't get me wrong, when you're talking about the criminal element, we do overrepresent. So the criminal demographic, right? We need to make some changes. And if you notice, black men have been doing a lot better for sure, right? But when you take it outside of that and just look at the total, the whole sum of black men, there's 22 million of us, right? And so by no means downplaying it, but bringing perspective. 9,000 out of 22 million is negligible, right? But that jacket will be put on us as though we're all perpetuating the negativity in terms of what comes from a quote unquote gangster rap. When the truth is, the overwhelming majority of us, although it does have a level of influence, I can admit that, are just operating in the earth and treating it like entertainment. I think the one thing that we are implicated for is that we don't speak out against enough stuff. We know we had to no snitching, stay out of it. That ain't my business. And I think that makes you culpable to an extent. If I'm in Mickey D's with my kids, 2 people come and rob the Mickey D's, I'm not of the street element, right? And people say, let the cops do their job. Sure, right? But how you do anything is how you do everything. If you let people rob the Mickey D's and continue to let people just destroy where you need to live, breathe, and shop, right? Your kids are unsafe. Things become unsafe. If I were to report that, oh, they went that way, officer, I'm not involved in that. I have nothing to do with that, right? Now, if I go to rob the Mickey D's, right? I go to rob Mickey D's. I get caught. My boy gets away. I tell he went that way. I'm a part of the criminal element. I'm outside. I'm a snitch at that point. But let's make sure civilians and the criminals are two different, and they live by 2 different sets of codes and rules. But there's a lot of conflating going on. And no, gangster rap does not dominate our communities. Let's take a look at Pac as he was a little bit older and see, did his mannerisms change? Because I think that actually builds on a greater point about how assimilation does happen, and he did adopt different things being a talented actor based on where he was, what he was doing, what his agenda was at that time. That 100% has to matter before you put a jacket on Tupac Shakur as being homosexual. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.
I know. I've been in a position. It's out of our control. It's not like he wants to kill.
It's 1994.
He just doesn't want to die. You know what I'm saying? It's that situation when we are living in a war zone. It's not as easy as these people are making us think, that they just got some criminal ass black kids with guns. It is not like that. We live in hell. We live in the gutter. We got us stacked up 80 deep in one building. You know, by the time you get out your house, you strapped to protect yourself. Because you living in the same community that the police is carrying rifles and riot gear. They need them riot, excuse my language, I'm so sorry. The same reasons they need the riot hat, the riot jacket, the flak jacket, the double vest, the 9mm Glocks with extra bullets, the tear gas, the mace, all that. Who do you think the police is using that against? Dogs? We fighting the same villains that they fight in the street. But instead of them seeing us fighting villains in the street, we all villains.
Is your generation the one that is picking up for where the Panthers left off, saying, all right, enough is enough? The generation before us forgot about the fight. We're picking it back up.
Not only forgot about the fight, forgot about us. Yes, and we're picking it back up. But at this level, all we're trying to do is unite. And right now, as a year, we got 1 million people that's listening. Now we can tell them something. Now we can try to get them that way. And we might lose some. We might gain some. But we would never even have that audience had we not said what was real. You know what I'm saying? And the main thing for us to remember is that the same crime element that white people are scared of, black people are scared of. The same crime element that white people fear, we fear. So we defend ourselves from the same crime element that they scared of. You know what I'm saying? While they waiting for legislation to pass and everything, we next door to the killer. We next door to him, you know, because we up in the projects where it's 80 in the building. All them killers that they letting out, they right there in that building. But it's better, just because we black, we get along with the killers or something? We get along with the rapists because we black and we from the same hood? What is that? We need protection too.
Finally, I want to ask you about something that...
The man is brilliant, right? The man is brilliant. And you saw a little bit when he said, excuse me, I'm so sorry, right? People could qualify that as effeminate, right? But he's a man now, right? And he's still young for sure. This is 1994. It was Pac 23, 24, but that's 5 years from 17, right? So you can tell there's a little bit there, right? But it's a much different disposition. He was still very well spoken, right? Obviously, the education was good that he received in the earlier interview that he did, you know. But the mannerisms were much more pronounced. But now, remember, he said in the other one, I'm 18 now. Now I'm out on my own. I can do my own thing, right? So that consistent influence of maybe his mom is not there. He's getting exposed to different things in the earth, right? And people often do assimilate and adopt things that they think are cool, right? But people just come into their own. So you can see it but it's much, much less. And you wouldn't take this interview and say Tupac Shakur is homosexual, right? But when he's a child at 17, we cast that jacket on him, which makes no sense when there's so many interviews that you can see the maturation process of Tupac Shakur becoming a man. Let's finish this one.
Someone else asked you in the interview, and I thought the answer was interesting because I think it speaks to you and your generation a lot. Someone said, where do you see Tupac 10 years from now? You said, hey, I just want to be alive. That's real for you.
That's so real. I made a metamorphosis. I'm a new person today because I used to strongly and honestly, I feel like I could represent my generation so much because I honestly did not care whether I lived or died. But now I cannot die with people thinking I'm a rapist or a criminal. I can't leave until this is straight. You know, I'm not suicidal. I can't go until y'all really know what time it is. And then after that, boom, it's all over. And we can see, you know, how this shit fall. But that's how it is. And the reason being is because if I can't live free, if I can't live with the same respect as the next man, I don't want to be here. Because God has cursed me to see what life should be like. If God wanted me to be this person and be happy here, he wouldn't let me feel so oppressed. He wouldn't let me feel so trampled on. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't let me think the things I think. So I feel like I'm doing God's work. You know what I'm saying? Just because I don't have nothing to pass around for people to put money in the bucket don't mean I ain't doing God's work. I feel like I'm doing God's work. You know what I'm saying? Because these ghetto kids ain't God's children. And I don't see no missionaries coming through there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing God's work. While Reverend Jackson do his up in the middle class and he go to the White House and have dinner and pray over the president, I'm up in the hood, you know what I'm saying, doing my work with my folks. And just because I don't live there don't mean I don't go there. I got to go there because I can't hang nowhere else.
Let that man cook. He cooking. You're not going to call him homosexual, but we look at the one interview as opposed to the 20 interviews, right? Intelligent, well-spoken, trained actor, good education, right? Grew up under the Panthers. But they put a jacket on him from a interview when he was 17 and forget about the one he was 23, right? They manufactured gangster rap. The truth is, when you first hear rap and hip-hop, it was an expression of art and culture before anybody ever infiltrated it. And so very often, which is why this is actually important in the culture, that you actually live what you rapped about, because it was that real. It was that authentic as an art form. But that's getting lost. Now, again, I just want to reiterate, they latched on to a thing that was very provocative and inflammatory and painted us in a negative light and pushed it, right? I think with an agenda behind it, you know? But the manufacturing part, it was already there. They just chose to highlight it in a different way. I could maybe concede that point, but I have to think more through it. Let's take a look at one more video of Tupac. This is in 1996 when he lost his life, when he was actually with Suge Knight, Death Row Records. You know, let's again assess the man's mannerisms, because they put a jacket on him to say he was homosexual. Damn, I can't even say it. He was homosexual from an interview he did when he was 17 years old. That can't be the only ones that matter. These have to matter as well. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.
The after party, and with me from Death Row. Introduce yourself, my man.
I'm Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur.
All right. Now here's the deal. First of all, can you tell us what you actually thought about the actual rap category in terms of, I mean, I saw Coolio win and I was like, sorry.
It's like this. For us, anything in awards, we don't even think about that. He got an album out there. He sold 6 million records. He sold 3 million singles. He got another album coming out, Machiavelli. Snoop got an album coming out. We just move forward. We don't even get caught up in that type of shit.
All right, man. Can we talk about Death Row East? What is exactly happening? And what can we expect from it?
You believe in God?
Certainly.
Believe in Death Row East. Believe in that, for real. That's it right there. If you believe in God, believe in Death Row East. We plan to take the same strategy we use with Death Row West, which is mind over matter, taking all our weaknesses and making it into our strengths. We know that we got strength in numbers. We already run the streets out here. So now we just gonna help some of these brothers get their money on, because we know they got talent. We got the ways to make them use their talent to the maximum effect. And that's what this is about. Everybody rap. We don't rap. We rap to make money. We do business. Ain't no other record company out there that sold as many records as we did. We outsold Bad Boy, LaFace, every black record label out there, we outsold them in 1 year. And I'm a convict and my homeboy just got off a murder case. So that tell you that it's pure talent, no hype. We don't got no all-American smiles. They don't even want to buy our record, but they gotta buy our record because we represent the street. So Death Row East is gonna be a personification of what we did on the west side. We're gonna do it to the east side, and we're gonna prove once and for all that all these people talking about an East Coast, West Coast war, they like the Judas was to Jesus. They only here to cause confusion. We here to bring money and to bring change. They here to cause confusion. All these weak rappers, Nas, all these suckers, they battling off of East and West like this is a game. This ain't no game. If this was chess, we'd be yelling checkmate 3 years ago, because we've been beat these. It's not a game. We out here trying to help our people make money. We trying to get out of this 3-strike circle they got us in and start getting our papers on. So that's what we doing. By strength in numbers, we coming to the East Coast to prove there is no fear, there is no problem, there ain't nothing but opportunity. And the opportunity is overthrow the government y'all got right now, which is Bad Boy and Nas and all that bullshit, and we will bring a new government here that will feed every person in New York.
What about that was so feminine? Again, we got to make sure we check it, man. Point blank. You heard what he said. You heard what his reasoning was. It's profound, the stuff that Pac was saying and how he was saying it. He don't trip over any words. He don't use any filler words. This man is a savant in terms of just lingo, understanding, being able to orate. Like, no. I push back against that rhetoric as the heaviest hand that I could find. My hands are heavy, heavier than my hands. You're not going to put that jacket on Pac, right? We caught it. We caught you. Okay, we get it, 17 years old, but we know his mom is the greatest influence. So yeah, he might be moving around like her, moving his hands like her. He get into the earth, right? He really start developing his roles and who he is and himself when he said, oh, I'm going to be a grown up now. My life was hard. My mom's life was hard. My father's life was hard, you know, but I'm here now. And now he starts coming into his own. He starts signing the music. He started doing the movies, Juice, Poetic Justice, playing a particular role in a particular character. And then that character seemingly worked. But then also everything that Pac was saying in his music, there's evidence that he was actually outside, which actually matters in hip hop culture, whether it should or not is inconsequential. But people change from 17 to 23 to 25 to 30 to 35 to 40. And especially when you get around men, you adopt the mannerisms that make sense. If you go talk to the kids that I coached very intimately, meaning the defensive linemen, that was the position I coached. They took on my personality. They took on my traits, characteristics, lingo, because it's a great influence that is actually teaching them to do a thing to the best of their ability. That happens naturally. So no, there's no jacket on homosexuality on Tupac Shakur. Let's clear that up. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Be safe and do the right thing, man. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And I'm out.